From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, October 29th, 2015. Silver is trading at $15.85 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,156 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $311. And War.com reports with the U.S. having officially transitioned the Islamic State war narrative away from advise and assist to direct combat, officials are already talking up the idea of various unnamed European countries launching their own ground wars in Syria as well. General John Allen, retired, the outgoing The Islamic State war czar, told the Senate Foreign Relations Committee on Wednesday that he expects European nations to become more kinetically involved in the Islamic State war as time goes on, and that the U.S. was already courting nations to get a presence at Turkey's Incirlik Air Base. Defense Secretary Ash Carter conceded that there has been so far no actual instance of any of the European countries expressing any formal interest in joining a ground war, but insisted that it stands to reason that Europe would eventually join the war. Allen added the Russians are going to start feeling some serious pain on this, underscoring that the U.S. war against the Islamic State is increasingly driven by a desire to one-up Russia in their own, more recently launched war. In 1999, Daryl W. Perry began a search for traditional values, which led him down a path to the ideas of liberty. He tells the story in A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty. Of the book, Dr. Brian Sovereign says, sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I think it's crazy, but it's always authentic. Find A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty by Daryl W. Perry on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, ask for A Rebel's Journey wherever books are sold, or visit arebelsjourney.com. UPI reports the U.S. House of Representatives on Wednesday passed a proposed 2-year budget that will add billions to the federal spending caps and raise the debt ceiling and make it so that the government can't have any more fiscal fights until 2017. The House passed the budget bill by a vote of 266 to 167 Wednesday afternoon, more than enough to send the legislation to the Senate. Now it is up to the Senate to get the budget proposal to President Obama's desk, which could happen before the end of the week. Senate leaders said Wednesday that they want to act quickly, particularly because the Treasury Department cites a November 3rd deadline to raise the debt ceiling. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell from Kentucky, one of the proposal's architects, proposed to immediately address the plan. Under the House's proposal, federal spending caps for military and non-military spending will be raised by $80 billion over the next 2 years. It also calls for long-term cuts to some domestic programs like Medicare and Social Security to offset the increases. Perhaps the biggest motivation for passing the budget bill is to eliminate the possibility of any further showdowns between Obama and Congress, which have threatened multiple government shutdowns in the last 2 years. If the budget is passed by the Senate, it would mean no more partisan haggling over financial matters until March 2017, when a new president and a new Congress will be in Washington. For over 35 years, Robertson Roberts has been a trusted source for buying and selling your investment-grade precious metals. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and permanently removed the minimum purchase order for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on investing and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 850-478-5270 or online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports a high-tech U.S. military blimp designed to detect a missile attack came loose on Wednesday and wreaked havoc as it floated from Maryland into Pennsylvania, dragging more than a mile of cable and knocking out power to thousands. The U.S. military scrambled 2 armed F-16 fighter jets to keep watch as the massive blimp traveled into civilian airspace after coming untethered from its base at Aberdeen Proving Ground, a U.S. Army facility 40 miles northeast of Baltimore. Pentagon officials said they were unsure why the 242-foot-long blimp broke free at 12:20 p.m. Military officials wrestled for hours over the best way to safely bring it down, but eventually it deflated on its own. The blimp, part of a $2.8 billion Army program, landed in Exchange, Pennsylvania, a community outside Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, about 150 miles north of the Aberdeen Proving Ground. Local officials said the blimp's travel caused widespread damage. At one point, 30,000 Pennsylvanians were without power. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.